your eyes back in your head.
Popped out like flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, happy Memorial's Day. Definitely shout out to the former troops and veterans that have served this country for our freedoms and stuff. So before we start the show, we want to give our salute to the veterans, past, present, future, dead and alive. What you think? Well, what'd you say on that, Mike?
Without question, we got quite a few of people that have served in the that have served for us on our platform. That's a part of the Holy Alliance. Obviously, Jude comes from that family. One comes from the family. I come from family myself. You got Truth. Um,
And
himself.
basically
Everybody.
majority of my damn family. Yep.
Your family, like I said, that's where we come from. So I guess that's where we kind of get that in your face type of mentality. So if you understand the military and the service and what we've done, you understand how important it is. For me personally, man, I got to tell this story because this is kind of where my life changed, to be honest. So y'all forgive me of being uh to bring out Mellow Mike for a second, but I was not. I was a good student, very good student, very intelligent, but I had some behavioral. I had some behavioral issues, and I didn't necessarily understand it at the time. I had a learning disability at the time. I didn't understand, so my frustration of me not learning, not learning, but me not understanding I had a learning disability at that time. Um, I, I grew angry and angrier, and one of the things that saved me is Coach Man. And if anybody ever anything about Avondale High School, Coach Man was the tennis, but this guy was a Marine, and Coach Man he took a particularly a liking to me. I guess because I was an angry son of a bitch. Um, he took a particular liking, man. He said, "Bro, I think you." No, he demanded. Ain't no he didn't tell me. He said, "You're going. I ain't putting you in ROTC." So Coach Man put me in ROTC because I was in the performing arts, and he said, "Nah, we getting you out of this because ROT. Well, at that time, um, the performing arts really wasn't doing me any good because I just wasn't good. But long story short, man, Coach Man put me in ROTC, man, and to be honest, at 15 years old, that's what I needed. I needed that at the moment. I needed discipline. I needed all that. So for me personally, come from a family, my great uncle, um, he kind of put me. He was a Marine himself, so I've always just been surrounded by a bunch of military people, psychotic people. My uncle, my granddad, like everybody, man, is just surrounded by military. So for me personally, um, military just mean everything to me. To be honest, that's where I got my discipline. So if you don't understand the military, you understand the why I move the way that I move. We about discipline, and we really on loyalty. So that right there is my story when it comes down to um the military and the background. Like I said, Warren got a story himself, Kill got a story himself. That's just our family.
Hey man, I guess you could say that's pretty much how everybody is, man. But like I said, man, definitely give our shouts out and our respects to the military, past, present, and future, as we said already. Um, Before we go ahead and get started with the show, um, you already know how we kick this off. I ain't got no introduction, but we
Mm-mm.
call it the what, Mike?
The real roll call.
The real roll call. Roll call. Roll call.
Uh,
And today's roll call, we're gonna do this right, man. We got Deshaun Caswell, we got King Treyway, we got Savage Falcon, Nicholas Harvey, D. Coleman, Southside, Keyshawn Black, really 1090, and Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. See Nathan Floyd just popped in here. So, hey man, let's go get right into the show. Um, fellas, how have y'all been enjoying y'all? I call this lazy off day. So the damn show was lazy for me. Um,
I'm eating greens and cornbread.
cornbread. Good God Almighty.
you
I
did
haven't got a
better.
chance to eat my greens and cornbread because my family decided that they the wanted to wait the last time. So I'm still waiting on the food to get off the grill, sir.
Yeah,
Yay.
he did all damn Saturday. So I'm like, shit. He just gonna choose this day to just be lazy
Mm-hmm.
and lay down. So
Jay Black said he drank more vodka than me. Hey, look,
Nah, I'm not a vodka fan. I look, anybody know? I don't know what vodka does to me, but it doesn't.
hey Jay Black, I got you, bro. You got me this year. But I am about to. I'm gonna find out about some whiskey later on though. So don't count me out yet.
ah man. So uh, let's go and get right into it, man. Like I said, we have a very interesting conversation coming on this evening. This was actually hold on. This is actually a last minute audible on this conversation we got today. But brought to my attention by yours truly, Mad Mike Sports, and shout out to the OG popping in here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was brought to me by our um our young Padawan, young knight. He brought that to my attention, so wanted to throw that out there. See, we do the proper citing around here. We don't just take motherfuckers' ideas and not give people credit for it. Okay, that's what we do over here.
Shot fired.
Bang bang, motherfucker, bang bang.
Motherfucker won't leave. They won't leave a comment. They won't say, "Hey, I like that. That's a good idea. Maybe I want to do my." Nope. They just take it and run and try to act like they don't watch your shit. Well, we know. We know.
Yeah, you got some of them. They probably watching right now.
Security, security,
Security.
security.
You know that. You know, real niggas yell security. You know that, right?
I'm trying to tell you. Whoa, 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 whoa. What real niggas?
Well, you can't hold it against escaped mental patients. I'm just saying.
You know what? You got to go. You got to go. You got to go.
All right.
That's what we wouldn't even talk about that, but he just had to throw that in. This nigga
Nah,
here.
but
I swear I got control over everything. He just had to do that.
all right. So, Mike, go ahead and continue, man. Don't worry about the noise in the back. I'm about to have me some tea brewing here in a second. So go ahead, Mike. Continue.
Whoa. What the hell you mean tea?
Yeah, it's a good day for green tea.
Yeah,
So
green tea.
Yeah.
we talk about escape mental patients, tea, and now
And
they start talking about tea.
come on,
We
Mike.
went from
Come on.
greens, we went from cornbread and greens to escape mental patients to tea.
Come
What
on,
in the
Mike.
hell is going on?
Come on, Mike. You know, real niggas got to have they green tea.
No,
They
no,
may
no,
help
no,
them melt up.
Sasa. No. You're going with my original idea. I allowed, okay, Magnus to use it. Okay, thank you, sir. Don't tell me I pulled it. No, that was mine to begin with. We're gonna do this right, okay?
Wait a minute. Vlad talking about some beans and bologna. Nope.
No, we got
Beans
that.
and
Yeah.
bologna. I got beans and bologna.
Spam and mustard.
Well,
Whoa, what?
Spam and mustard.
Man, it must be.
I didn't say mayonnaise. I said mustard.
You know, I haven't had spam in so damn long. I wouldn't even know what the hell it smell or even taste like.
It smells like you got bills. That's what spam smells like. You got bills.
What the hell?
see, when you lay on the pillow and talk, you get tea.
Man, oh my God. That-
Let's get to the topic.
You
This
know
is
what? No,
I see this.
no, bro. I had a joke right there, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm
see,
gonna leave it alone.
see,
I'm gonna leave it alone.
it was going left. Hey, Kev. Here we
You
are,
go
face to
to
face,
face to
a
face, a
couple of
couple
birds
of
with their
dirty
spoon.
spoons.
what are we doing, y'all? What are we
Hmm.
doing?
I'm waiting for you to go ahead and start it off, man.
Hey, look,
I
All right,
can't
man.
do about that because I don't think it can be.
Well, we gotta
I
give him
don't
some
even know what the
holiday
hell
food.
we talking about. Oh, Roddy
Oh,
White and Kyle Shanahan. Good God Almighty.
we
Y'all
got,
don't
we
see
had to
all.
give him some holiday foolishness before we start the show.
Yeah, we sure did. But so I knew Roddy was gonna get to talking.
man,
Roddy he's one of those guys when he get an opportunity to speak his piece, he gonna speak his piece and he gonna let it be known. Um, I think that's one of the reasons why Dan Coochie Quinn and Raheem pussy popping ass Morris. That's why they allowed him to pretty much be gone and nobody stuck up for him. Nobody took up for Roddy because he's one of those players. When he right, he's right, and now we see. We had to learn the hard way that Roddy was right about Kyle Shanahan. He's a dick. He's a jackass. So, according to Roddy, one of the things that happened when he was here with the Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Shanahan told him that Leonard Hankerson was a better receiver than him. That
mm,
Jacob Tannen was a better playmaker than him.
mm.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. They pretty much said that on their new podcast
Oh,
with Harry Douglas.
shout out to Harry Douglas and them for the new pod they got coming out. Shout out to them, by the
Mhm.
Yes,
way.
sir.
So this is what he stated that Shanahan. See, um, Shannon shit about to get really exposed right now because NFL players, a lot of these coaches about to start. A lot of these players about to start speaking on these guys' names. Um, and some old dirty stuff about to come out about him, man. I think they might put an APB out on Roddy White after this.
Yeah, 2015 was bad and not in a good way.
Right.
He
Explain
had
that.
all
Explain
midget
that,
dog
Sam.
to think
He
Leonard
said
Hankerson
all
was
that
good.
stuff about Riley and then went out and his play calling and tried to prove it, and we all saw how that turned out.
But you know what's funny though? Kyle Shanahan been doing that to Roddy. He did it to a couple other players. The thing that I'm really getting out of this, and from what Roddy said, you really did not. You really did not give a shit if the Falcons won anything or not. You really didn't. If you want to be 100, you ain't give a shit about this team winning nothing. If the season would have been fucked up, you'd have probably still got another job elsewhere anyway.
So let me ask you a question on that. Is that kind of why? Is that kind of pointed to the reason why? Remember, after 2015, it was that rift between Shanahan and Matt Ryan. Was that part of?
Yep.
You think that?
I
Yeah.
believe
Hmm.
so. Go ahead, Sam. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, that was all about because Matt was upset about the whole Roddy situation.
They had a team
He,
meeting. That was the whole thing. They had a team meeting about it, and like I said, man, it's now it just makes you want to poke that man in the eye with a pencil.
Well, it won't be a pencil. I can tell you that.
Look, we trying to keep it as close as the PG as we possibly can.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no. I wasn't gonna go there. I was gonna say more like a car bumper.
See,
I feel
one
like
that's what
smoking
I
that
say.
nigga today.
Okay.
Oh, oh,
But you know what? You know what I thought about, and I mentioned this earlier to Mike. If you notice, the closer it gets to the season opener for the Falcons, the more the 2016 bullshit comes up and is being exposed. And I find that highly ironic because we've all had the sentiment in small little spurts about this being almost like a do-over. Because out of all years, why is all of this shit now coming up? Why? Why are we now hearing from players talk about talk about that iron board head coach that didn't give that basically wasted away a Super Bowl? Why are we hearing about that now? Out of all seasons, why now?
because
I got a
the
conspiracy.
thing is, because the thing is that comes with this is, and Rashad here said it here, like you said, this is one of the reasons why a lot of y'all were so in love with Kyle Shanahan. We over here, the main one ready to tear his head off. I mean, like you said, you just go back to that season and you start recapping it. Yeah, there was that disconnect, and that's why you had that disconnect between the quarterback and the offense coordinator. But here's the question though: why did Dan Quinn allow it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's the question. Sounds pretty familiar, don't it? Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it, Granddad?
Yeah.
So that was the original birth of the Homer Simpsonisms, Sam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, they turned
yeah,
Dan Quinn into a nigga. All right, they blackface him. Okay, the fuck out of here.
And like you said, Roddy White was on the tail end of a lot of things. You know, he had a couple of injuries and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's some
But he
disrespect
still.
right there. That's some disrespect right there. That, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, because if you even looked at um how Julio and Harry Douglas looked at when he told this story, they looked shocked.
Yeah, I just think it's a good thing. One thing I will take out of this is just you can tell what type of guy Roddy is because he could have easily put this out about Kyle Shanahan while um while he was a coach. He could have put it out there while he when he was released by the Atlanta Falcons. He could have easily put that out. You know how many players can't wait to go and air out dirty laundry? Devontae Campbell did it. AB still doing it. So many players are doing it. But, you know, at the time, This is what happened. And like I said, Roddy just now. Here it is, damn near a decade since, and we finally starting to hear this story
Mm-hmm.
about what he said. So it gives me a newfound respect about what Roddy, because like I said, we always say like what stays in house, what goes on in house stays in house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got here said Quinn was a young coach of the team, and knowing what he knows now, I'm sure that Super Bowl would have went differently.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would have went differently. And Mike made a good point off air. He said, had Roddy been in that game, it would have went totally different.
I don't want to hear that shit about Dan Quinn. He was a yes man fuckboy.
He's still a yes man. He's just a yes man that learned he can't do it his way all the time.
And this is why I said that that time in the Falcons' history, within that time, it was. That's why I asked the second question. Kyle Shanahan's ego over team success. Do you believe that this was the reason why they could have never got over the hump with that because of that
I'm gonna be
bad
honest.
energy of that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Kev. What walked into that Super Bowl in terms of our coaching staff was fear, and what walked out was failure. That's what it was. Mike said this, and this Mike made this point 2015 on up. Some of them coaches in that room were too chicken shit to tell Shanahan to go fuck off. We trying to win this game. That's point blank period. It was fear. Because how was it that 8, 9 of y'all got common sense? One person don't got no common sense at all, and all y'all too scared to cuss his ass out for a ring. We can throw hands after we done won the trophy, but the players know, and an upper room know. Look, what you doing is fucked up, and everybody went along with it.
So Mike, how do you feel about all this, man? How do you feel about all this coming out and the disrespect of Roddy White?
It just makes me like, for one, it makes me despise Dan Quinn. It makes me despise this bitch that we got as a head coach right now, and Raheem Morris. Those guys could have easily just benched Roddy. Just say, all right, Roddy. But y'all decided to allow him to just cut him. Like, he just meant nothing to this organization. And it wasn't one of those matters where he was a complete locker room disgrace. I've never heard anybody say that. All we heard was Roddy White says he doesn't like Kyle Shanahan, but he's gonna put his own personal disdain for the guy aside. We knew he didn't get along. We knew these guys didn't. He didn't like Kyle Shanahan. He knew that. We knew this from the very beginning. But that goes back. That goes back to the days when he was from what I understand, Roddy said it was a Pro Bowl, and certain things and certain players, said about Kyle Shanahan. But I think it was a personal issue where he had with Kyle Shanahan that made him not like him, and he went from there and just said, "All right, I don't like the guy. We need an offensive coordinator. I'ma just chill." But Kyle Shanahan didn't let it stay at that. He embarrassed the man. You tried to convince the world that Leonard Hankerson was a better wide receiver than Roddy.
See how that went.
Just think about that shit. Leonard fucking Hankerson. I don't know. This nigga probably got a 2000. Look, If this motherfucker end up building a YouTube channel, I guarantee nobody wouldn't fucking watch it because nobody know who the fuck he is right now.
He
Nobody.
probably on a farm somewhere farming pine trees.
Yeah, think about it. You gotta think about it. Roddy, even being past his prime, was the second best receiver on that team, no doubt about
Yeah.
Jacob and Jake, you trying to tell me that Jacob Tammy and Leonard Hankerson was a better target for the offense than Roddy? Man, please.
He got rid of Roddy on the simple basis of it was Roddy's team.
Yeah.
It was Roddy's team. He got rid of Roddy to get control of the team.
So
It had
you tell
nothing to
me
do with play.
before the Vladimir Putin, he overthrew the current dictator, the current president is what they call it.
Yeah. Because Roddy was the voice of the Falcons. Roddy was the voice of the Falcons. He had both locker rooms, defense and offense. And
Roddy was the heart of the team.
Yeah.
At that point in time, Roddy was the heart of the team. Everybody listened to Roddy. So, I mean, when you really look at what he did, I mean, yeah, he went about. He could have found another way to do it, but I mean, in all intents and purposes, you cut the head off the snake that you're trying to tame.
Mm-hmm. And you got to think too. You did have that Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones thing going on because Julio was Roddy's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt had Roddy the heart of the team, and Matt trusted in Roddy.
Yeah.
In Roddy's leadership.
He thought he was gonna get Matt Ryan. He thought he was just gonna get Matt Ryan and Julio to just do what the hell he wanted to do blindly, and it didn't work out that way.
Nope.
But then you notice he said he didn't say Julio was a better receiver than Roddy. He said Leonard Hankerson.
Yeah, right. That was personal.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that I see where this came down to was Shanahan had a problem with a bunch of motherfuckers that spoke their mind.
Mm-hmm.
It was against the bullshit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what dictators hate. They don't like people that speak their mind. They don't like people like these.
Come on, cough that bullshit up. Cough that bullshit up.
Cough the bullshit up.
Cough that bullshit up.
They don't like people like the holy alliance.
Come on now.
There you go.
See, and I'm gonna say this.
I got it.
And see, this is what y'all got to understand. A person, not just a man, but a person who is dead set on what they want to do will burn their house down so that nobody has a room.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that lets you know this right here, what we talking about, lets you know that Shanahan said, okay, since this ain't my team, fuck y'all, no Super Bowl. He would purposely lose a Super Bowl to prove a point. And that's why you had people like Matt Ryan trying to throw a helmet at his ass.
Because
you know how petty you got to be to damn near make sure your team lose a Super Bowl to prove a point.
Because think about it. Think about it like this. Matt Ryan almost tried to fight that motherfucker twice.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit right there.
In the locker room and on the plane.
Fight that motherfucker twice. So like you said, it just goes back to the question. Dan Quinn, what the fuck was you doing? And remember, Raheem was on that offensive staff too. What the fuck was y'all doing?
He was assistant head coach.
He was still chewing Orbit's gum.
Why you got an assistant head coach? Okay, what the fuck is good is having an assistant head coach if you're gonna sit there and sniff somebody fucking jockstrap?
Well, you know what, Mike? This is what happens when you have glazed ankles. You sit there and you watch everything go by.
Hey, look,
There's
look, Tony
there's
right here
nothing
said,
glacial about that motherfucking ankle. He sweat oil, okay?
That's Vaseline.
look, look, Tony right here said they saying the same thing as San Fran right now. After they said they want his ass gone.
You know what? That's exactly right. They had to learn the hard way. They said they swore we just blew it.
Mm-hmm.
They swore we just blew it. Y'all don't
Hmm.
blew 2 Super Bowls and the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
hmm
Yep.
Going away from what works.
Hmm.
Man, going away from what got y'all there.
This what happened when you put other people's clothes on without
So,
washing.
so,
Mm.
so I got another question, Sam. I want you to pop off on this one. So, was that 2016 offense? Was that offense really that explosive because of the players, or was it really that explosive to stick it to Kyle Shanahan?
Ooh.
The obvious answer is the players led by Matt.
Mm.
Because he duplicated the same success the following year.
Sam, I swear to
Yeah,
God, this is why that I swear to God I was thinking the same thing.
right. Like I said, the question is just, we trying to paint this picture here as far as um. No, keep on going. I'm just trying to paint a picture here, so I would say keep
I
on
mean,
going.
look, he had what 16, 17, and 18 were all MVP seasons by Matt.
Yep.
hmm
Okay. I mean, it was obviously that offensive crew. He just sprinkled in a few goddamn ignorant calls, you know what I'm saying, during that game to fuck up the ice cream.
Hmm.
I mean, for all those that was out there hollering about Kyle Shanahan made Matt Ryan. Okay. So was Kyle Shanahan coaching him his rookie year when he was the offensive rookie of the year and he took them to the playoff? No.
Ooh.
Sir,
Mm.
are you guys down for a little bit of numbers
Yeah.
Get it.
to kind
Get
of
it.
back up what you
Yeah,
saying?
let me get my notepad out
Yeah.
so I can take
Yeah.
some notes.
School.
So I just want to give y'all a series of numbers. All right. So this is what we talk about, what is hypocritical and just downright ignorant. Because Matthew Thomas Ryan just gonna get his numbers. He's gonna go back to 2012. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Before I do that, before I do that, let me give you a quarterback record. Okay. This is why this is so hypocritical when it comes down to Matt Ryan and Kyle Shanahan, who made who. All right, his rookie season, he was 11-5, 9-5 in the second season, 13-3. So I don't know many quarterbacks that can come right out of the league and just have a 30 games. This guy won 30 games in 3 years. Nobody talks about it. Okay? Nobody talks about it. Those are 30 games in 3 years, and nobody talks about it. Excuse me, 40 games.
Mhm.
40 plus games in 4 years, and we act like it's nothing. Okay? 11-5, 9-5, 13-3, 10-6, 13-3. Finally had his first losing season in 2013 with 4-12, but then bounced back, went to 6-10, 8-8, 11-5. That year, obviously, we went to the Super Bowl, 10-6, 7-9, 7-8, and 4-12. So this guy haven't had a lot of losing seasons. Look, furthermore, we're gonna look at the numbers. This dude has never passed the ball under 2,900 yards. But we got this son of a bitch that's in the NFL right now that y'all say is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever grace this earth, and he's barely throwing for 3,000 yards in the season. But we say that this is legendary status. Matt Ryan has never thrown the ball under 2,900 yards in his entire career. But we are sitting up here saying that he does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame when he's never done that. This dude has had, you talk about, when you look at his touchdown, we're just going to talk about touchdowns. The dude he's had one season where he threw the ball under 15 touchdowns. One season in his entire career. Let me say that again. One season in his career, and that was his last year in the NFL, where he threw the ball under 15 touchdowns. So every year that this guy has been in the league, he's put up numbers. Put up great numbers. He has never had one season where he has thrown 20 interceptions in the league. And we've seen so many Hall of Fame legends who has actually done that. Furthermore, when you look at what he's done as a quarterback in 4,000, he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight years where he threw the ball for over 4,000. And this son of a bitch that y'all crown Jesus Christ in a uniform with his nose tooted up to the sky, pointing and running sideways. Okay, and I'm not talking about sitting sideways. I'm talking about running sideways. Okay. This motherfucker running sideways, throw the ball to the tight end 15 times, and I'm talking about A.A.U. Jackson, aka Mr. Lamar Jackson. He has not done that.
MC Brillo head.
So I just want to give y'all a perspective of what we talk about when it comes down to Matt Ryan. That's all. I just wanted to give y'all a little brief numbers, the numbers on Matt Ryan, so y'all can get the reason why we always say that Kyle Shanahan ain't made shit. Man, if anything, Matt Ryan made him.
Yeah. Because the team didn't change when he left.
And I dare y'all to go look for another quarterback that has won almost 45, 50 games in his first 5 seasons in the NFL. You won't see many. Just want to say, just want to throw that out there.
So here's the question. So here's another question. Outside of and it's very interesting that you brought those numbers up because it almost seems like a lot of people tie one of the Falcons' greatest seasons to one said Kyle Shanahan. Now, so y'all also have to remember. Shanahan got that job at San Francisco. Remember, he got the job right before the Super Bowl.
Yep. Before.
Yep. Not after.
So before. Again, that's
which I thought, which I thought was against the rules at that time, as far as coaches being in the playoff, and you can't really start talking to them before the playoff.
Because the Rooney rule that we had in place on top of it.
So would that lead to what I said then? Would that back up what I said? If you already knowing you got another job with another team, another organization, and you want to be a petty motherfucker, you would literally throw the Super Bowl and be on your way. It really didn't matter if you wanted or not. If you was worried about going somewhere else. That means to me, that means you showed up to this Super Bowl knowing you was gonna throw that shit. And yeah, I said throw it. You walked in there knowing you was gonna shit on everybody in that organization to prove a point, knowing you was gonna have a job. It did not matter. You didn't have to stay around for the repercussions.
I mean, he was touted as so much of a quarterback guru. What other quarterback was an all-pro up under his tutelage? What other quarterback won MVP under his tutelage? What other quarterback? I mean, you look through Kyle Shanahan's resume, you see a lot of dead quarterback careers, and at the top of that list is RG3.
Click clack knees.
So that's the trivia question of the show. How many MVP quarterbacks have Kyle Shanahan outside of Matt Ryan has he produced? So we're gonna let the people answer that one.
And don't say Beavis or Butthead because they weren't playing.
Hmm. Hmm. They
And
kicked
now
us
one of
at
you better
0.
not say Big Cock Brock with his $265 million ass that should not have that check.
I mean, the thing is that the jury's still out on that because we haven't seen. I mean, we saw him without weapons and he didn't look too well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talking about Brock Purdy? But
Mhm.
Big
Brock Purdy
Cock
never
Brock.
he
Yeah,
hasn't
that's
won
what they call him
MVP
down
though.
there. Believe it or not, they call him that down there.
Not calling that.
BCB.
Not calling that man. Not calling that man. I'm calling that man Daffodil Purdy. So he show otherwise.
Mr. Irrelevant is the $265 million man.
Not calling that nigga big nothing. He a daffodil. So he show otherwise.
But did Jimmy G really put up numbers? Jimmy G really didn't put up those. Not no. He put up Kirk Cousins numbers like he did last year. That
Jimmy G
if you if you
excited.
if you really look at Jimmy Garoppolo and then you really look at Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers at San Fran.
He had 1 year.
Now,
He had 1 year exactly. The thing is, he did his career is damn near identical to Brock Purdy. Damn
mm,
near identical. Both of those guys can't stay healthy, and both of those guys, Jimmy Garoppolo had one. He had the exact same. Both of these guys had 2 seasons where they threw for 3,800 yards.
okay.
Jimmy
Both
G.
of them.
Jimmy G was out there exciting the soccer moms. Let's be real.
He
Let's
was
be
too
real.
busy. Yeah, he was too. He was too busy sitting down and having lunch with Keanu Deal.
Yeah, he over there. He over there spreading around the Great Poupon. We ain't
Well,
talking about that.
Yeah, we
when
know he
you ever
loves
sit
fun
down
stuff.
with the young, I mean, you know what I'm saying? For her to, sit on your nose, neck, face, and jaw. I mean,
So,
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I'm just saying.
That's why I say he was spreading his Great Poupon around. That's all.
but like I said, it goes back to it. And Lord, here I come with another question. The era of arrogance that he had, in which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way down here. What do you what do you think that attributed to?
My daddy is the Pope. My daddy is John Gotti.
hmm
My daddy is Lucky Luciano.
He was arrogant by association, not by work.
So
Because
basically, what you saying, he was a nepo baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a Nepo baby. That's it. He
he
never
was a nepo test tube.
Mm.
he never see if you just look at Kyle Shanahan and what he's actually done, he does nothing. Does nothing whatsoever. Ain't nothing about him is original.
Mm. Sound familiar?
Nothing about his entire career is original. Nothing.
Mm.
He's
Sound
he.
So where we heard that before?
Mm,
mm. Orbit's
mm,
gone.
mm. Just saying. But that's a whole nother situation. I'm trying not to go excited, try to get too excited, but nothing about him is original. He doing
Mm.
exactly what his daddy told him to do when he get in trouble, and that's run the ball.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was his daddy thing. His dad. Let me tell y'all something about his daddy. Okay, his dad is nothing more than a low down piece of absolute shit.
Absolute. Damn.
That's what he
Mm,
is. His dad
explain
ain't
why.
nothing but a low down piece of shit. And if you know the history between him and Dan Reeves, the guy that put us in the Super Bowl, that led us to the Super Bowl, you would know why I'm saying this. K Style, do you understand this? Do you understand why I'm saying? Well, K Style,
Hold on,
fans, do
hold
y'all
on.
understand why I'm
No,
saying this?
because I think it may and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Mike Shanahan the reason why Dan Quinn got fired out of Denver in the first place?
He
Yes,
was
he
the
backdoored
main.
Dan Reeves and got him fired for a multitude of reasons. Uh, and yeah, it was a bunch of fuckery. It was a bunch of chicanery. It was a bunch of bullshit.
What was the reason?
He basically and in so much terms, he pretty much convinced the organization that Dan Reeves' offense would never win. It would never win, and it was old school. That his way of doing things would. So what happened was, um, Dan Reeves got fired. I believe when he got fired, Shanahan took. I forget where Kubiak was. He may have been a quarterback coach. Don't quote me on that, but I think he was a quarterback coach. Um, and he kept he kept that guy there. He kept that guy there. He kept him there. He kept Kubiak there, and he became the head coach. And that's where Kubiak became the offensive coordinator. And obviously we seen, from that. But Mike Shanahan was the one that was responsible for Dan Reeves ultimately getting him fired.
Mm.
Mm.
So
So,
like
so,
father, like son, he's a piece of absolute shit, just like his son is.
so he wanted to be. He wanted to play his shit, and because he knew, and because Dan wasn't gonna listen to a damn thing he was talking about. He got
Here's what
mad.
Dan is he listens, he trusts. That's what Dan Quinn, but Dan Reeves, he's done all his career. He allowed Greg Knapp and all the other guys that was on the offense to coach their position. He wasn't one of those guys that was a dictator. He allowed coaches to be coaches, but when you got a guy like Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan, they want things to go that way. So they don't want any. They want everybody to be do boys.
Mm-hmm.
See, Mike Shanahan was a Tom Landry disciple.
And he was all right. So he was the wide receivers coach before he got. He was the wide receivers coach before he became the offensive coordinators for the Denver Broncos. And then when he got back with the Denver Broncos, he became the quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator again. All right. And that's where but then Dan Reeves that year, as a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. You look at what Dan Reeves was, like I said, he obviously was the head coach, but during that time when he came in, he was doing a whole lot of backdoor politicking against Dan Reeves and ultimately got him fired. But that right there is what happened.
Oh, John St. Clair said Reeves fired
No,
Shanahan.
I know that, but that's why they fired Dan Reeves. And I got this firsthand about what happened. I know what happened in the situation because we got a guy that told us about this. And
So
the
it was,
organization, what happened was the organization never forgave Dan Reeves for firing um, Shanahan. So what Shanahan did, he went behind his back start talking a whole bunch of nonsense about him, and then they end up hiring him after he left. Kyle Shanahan, I believe he left the was it the 49ers, I believe. I think it was
Might
the 49ers. I
so
think it was the
what he
49ers.
under
Yeah, it was the 49ers. Yep, he was with the 49ers. So the 49ers he ended up leaving the 49ers in 94. He was the offensive coordinator there. Um and he went to the Denver Broncos. But
Yeah, 'cause
this
he was
dude has
on
been
George
doing this
Seifert
for a long.
staff.
The dude has been doing this for a long time. But he was going back and forth and talking a whole bunch of nonsense about Dan Reeves and why it wouldn't happen and all that type of stuff. But the running game, all of that stuff came from the inside zone running scheme, the outside zone running scheme. All that came from Kubiak and Dan Reeves. Okay,
Oh,
Kubiak and Dan Reeves.
so this pretty much get back a tit for tat. Pretty much. That's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Carlos said, did y'all read Harry Douglas and Devin Hester comments on the Instagram post?
Yeah, I seen him. That's what I'm talking about
I
today.
haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
I
Oh,
haven't
What was
seen.
it?
Kyle Shanahan was talking about Devin Hester too. He did that same shit he did with Roddy, talking about how another player that wasn't that good was better than him, and they were talking about it then. Like I said, Kyle Shanahan been doing this shit. It's one thing to motivate your players, but it's another thing to be personally jabbing at their ass. So, like I
So do
said,
you think so do you think he did that to Debo Samuel?
he probably did too. Look, Shanahan at this point in time is that little height. He's that little what is it? What's the he's that boarding school kid you want to smack upside the head, but he keep getting out of shit. That's who he is. He's that boarding school kid that you want to whip his ass for doing the dumb shit he's doing, but he always get a pass. That's all it is. That's why he lost 2 Super Bowls and the championship, because he do, like Mike say, he do the same thing.
He said Devin Hester said that Shanahan told him that Nick Williams was better than him.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying.
Interesting.
You did that shit to Roddy and him. Come on now.
And we already know Devin is one of those guys. Devin Hester is one of those guys who really don't bite his tongue either. So now we see the pattern.
Uh huh.
And Mike, what's that pattern that we see?
Hmm? Say it again.
Now I said now, like you said, that's the pattern right there. Anybody that was outspoken about him,
Yeah,
well,
but
they try to weed out.
that's what happened. Those are the things that we're talking about. Shanahan was, again. I keep bringing up Shanahan. I'm talking about Daddy Shanahan. That was one of the main reasons why he got fired, is because he was trying to, you know, in this term, it's possible, as easy I could probably put it. He tried to pretty much um, design a coup to pretty much take over the team. And Dan Reeves wasn't feeling the way he wasn't feeling that shit, and ultimately fired him. So that's the same thing. That's the same thing that happened um, with him in Cleveland. He got fired from Cleveland for the same thing. That's the thing people don't know. He got fired. They no longer wanted him. That's why he ended up leaving Houston on top of it. He went to Houston for this. He went to Cleveland from Houston because of the same thing. He anywhere him and his daddy, when they're not the center control, where they don't have complete control, those are the things that he tries to do.
Mhm.
He creates rifts. He creates rifts when there's no rift there. And the crazy part, like I said, with Mike Shanahan, Dan Reeves was one who believed in him to begin with, and he ended up, turning on him because he wanted more power.
Mhm.
Ooh boy.
Sound familiar?
Hence the reason why he ain't gonna win no daggone Super Bowl going forward. Because he gonna always end up doing the same dumb shit. And hence the reason why I said about chocolate rain on our team. The players are gonna have to want to win more than the coaching staff. Plain and simple. They're gonna have to win. They're gonna have to want to win a game more than the coaching staff.
And then you also had to remember Rodney Moore's been around Kyle Shanahan for years.
Yeah, yeah.
Years.
And this is the reason why I keep telling y'all. Y'all seem to think it's gonna be easy for him with Jeff Holbrook. That it ain't. It ain't. It's not. Please don't get it twisted.
Mm. So, y'all got any more? Y'all got any more takes on this topic at hand? Or
Yeah,
you want to just move to the Q&A part?
I got one more thing I want to add to it. We keep telling y'all in the chat and that's listening, pay attention to the patterns. Sam has already talked about the similarities of the draft. Mike's already talked about the similarities of the quarterback. This is a possible do-over. Now, we're not saying that this team right now is ready for the Super Bowl. So please don't go trying to say, please don't hit up Mike talking about you said we gonna go to the Super Bowl. He didn't say it. But this team right here, y'all better pay attention to. Because you don't have a gunshot quarterback. You got an offense that's got double the weapons we had last season. And if everything is done the way it's supposed to be done, you got a defense that you got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
If Mr. Cocoa Brown Chiclet Idiot 3000 don't get in the way, you might be surprised at what this team does.
I'm glad you said that because what was stated in that situation, I'll just give you a little bit on it. But in that situation with Reeves and Shanahan, it's kind of interesting because the reason why he was fired ultimately is that he was Dan Reeves wanted John Elway to run a certain amount of plays, run certain plays. What was happening was Mike Shanahan was going behind his back, and he was giving John Elway. He was giving John Elway different plays that he can design. So ultimately, what he was doing was what Dan Reeves wanted him to run this type of offense. Mike Shanahan, he was sitting with John Elway and saying, "See, if you speak me up with the organization, if you do me this favor, these are the types of plays that we'll be able to run." So that's what happened. That's how the rift with Mike Shanahan and Dan Reeves, he was going back and telling Dan Reeves wanted him to say this to John Elway, but what Mike Shanahan was doing, he was going to John Elway and saying, "Look, here's the plays. You like my plays? Yeah. Tell your boss to make me the offensive coordinator, to make me the guy." That's why Dan Reeves owed him. That's why he fired Mike Shanahan. So why am I saying that? It's because what Warren just said. If we're going to win, old Chiclet Teeth is gonna have to, okay? He's gonna have to get out his ego and let Jeff Ulbrich run that damn defense, because we clearly see that what he doing ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go behind your back, behind coaches' back and speak on certain things. That's what he was doing. So, like I said, this dude is a slime ball at the end of the day, like father, like son. And like I said, and the crazy part about this, what y'all don't know, where did Raheem get his first real job outside of the Bucks?
Washington. Under Mike Shanahan.
under Mike Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Why you think he learned how to do all this backdoor politicking with his friends and stuff? It's the
Mm-hmm.
reason why.
Yeah. And that's and guess what? Why you think he can stand on the sideline, look at the scoreboard, know he fucking up, and continue to chew his gum like he's a superstar?
And and also first opportunity to get be an offensive coordinator was who? Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm. But but
Yeah.
see, but see, there's a wrinkle. There's a wrinkle with Raheem right now, and you'll see it. Jeff Ulbrich is going to be a wrinkle because of number one, he came from the Jets. He learned what bad was. He saw what worked with Robert Saleh. Now he comes here and he says it out of his mouth that he wants to see y'all want to see him and Raheem argue about stuff. Why? Because that's letting him know, hey, I'm coming here to compete, even if it's with you.
Mm-hmm.
His son inadvertently lit the fire and made this man desperate. This is what y'all not paying attention. See, it's cool for him to say that in a press conference because it's what you call friendly fire. Meaning, oh, it sounds good in the press conference. Everybody like, oh yeah, that sounds good, but you worked with him before. Until your son basically got a good portion of your salary cut and you almost lost your job, sir. Guess what? The magnifying glass is on you. So why you think he out there with them players? He ain't out there. He ain't out there just because he wanted to win. He out there because his job on the line. And he ain't done nothing. So trust and believe when I tell you, Raheem start getting laxed, that gum start tasting too good to him. But yeah, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
That orbit starting to taste like icebreaker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be a problem. And see, he got two problems because now you got not only Jesse Bates as a spokesperson for the defense, you got Mike Penix as a spokesperson for the offense. And trust me, Mike Penix don't got a problem with getting in your face. He don't give a shit about you being a head coach. If you fucking up, you fucking up. So he don't have the comfort of telling Jeff over, well, your job on the line. You can now Jeff gonna tell him go fuck himself.
Lord.
So,
Yeah, y'all gotta watch. Y'all gotta do your research on these people, man. And like I said, that's why I'm watching. I'm watching Raheem real closely. I don't trust him. I do not trust that dude for the reasons we just stated. This is another reason why I don't trust him.
So that means if ooh,
Oh, he real close with them Shanahans too. Believe that. He real
no,
close.
yeah, no, he real close with him. So that means if the pattern continues that way,
mm-hmm.
oh, he's going after Zach Robinson this year.
Oh. Not only that, but
Ooh,
but
boy.
think, but think about it now. This ain't back in the day when Blank was nice and naive. Blank told Raheem what? He told him and Terry what? I am disappointed in this season. I'm disappointed. That means I'm going to be watching you two. Terry went ahead and Terry did what he was supposed to do in the draft. Raheem, that disappointment ain't been lifted, my boy. You ain't done not one thing. You out there taking photos with Drake trying to be cute. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Jeff Oprah got there
Hey,
getting it out of the mud, bro.
yeah, Mike, you see, I had to highlight that right there. That massive flying guillotine is dope.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fonseng Wuchi.
Yep. Drop it on your head and
And,
whoop, off with it. Off with it.
Off
all you
with it.
heard is,
Off
all you
with it.
heard is, boom.
That's it.
We motherfucker twitching and shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, but like you said, man, and that, and kind of going back and looking at the Shanahan way and all that stuff like that. now people start getting they not gonna get, some people are gonna get it, but this is one of the major reasons why, like you said, it's Raheem Morris, and why he's saying that it's kind of like a put up a shut up type of year, because you got a defense like Juan said, you got a defensive coordinator that almost lost his job. He like, mother, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Kid Richie said, did you see what Harry Douglas said? Said Shanahan was trying to get rid of all of them and was successful.
We know that. We know
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah,
He's no surprise.
well, no,
Like you
that
said,
is no surprise.
that the reputation is he gets rid of he gets rid of players that
That's
don't bow
all.
down to him.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle
Or,
Shanahan.
or Kyle
Kyle,
Shanahan is the epitome of that spoiled brat.
what's that dude name Kyle Shanahan is like the dude that runs the Minions. He want a bunch of mid players that he can say he made great. That's what
Hmm.
he wants. He like having minions on the football team. Anybody he
Hmm.
can control that.
He's already had a bunch of mid quarterbacks, and none of them became great.
Yeah. Georgia Tech boy Groove. Yeah, he is a modern day
Grew.
Groove.
He grew.
If you look at Kyle Shanahan's face and Groove's face, he looked just like Groove, a skinny version of Groove. He want all of the minions. He want them in there eating popcorn with one or two eyes and running around doing dumb stuff. That's what he want for a team. And then he goes, "Hey, I made him great. Get to the Super Bowl and lose." Yeah, right. They tell her he's the stupid villain. Right. Absolutely.
Mm, mm,
Only
mm,
man,
mm.
only man putting gasoline in the radiator.
Wow, not gasoline in the radio.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, cause I look back, I, I look back at that. It was like, cause I remember I went to the Washington game in 2015. I'm trying to think, was it that Washington game they played at? They played at the Dome in 2015. Either Washington or Houston. It was one of those two. And I remember Matt Ryan threw the ball to Roddy White 4 straight times in that game.
Yep.
And they took Roddy White out for pretty much the majority of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that. Yeah. I'd be mad too.
Yeah. Because when Mike told me, Mike said if Roddy had been in that Super Bowl game, he said it would have went totally different. And the thing I think about is we know how many injuries we had in that Super Bowl. We know how many players came in, came out. We know what we was doing. Can you imagine us being up on the Patriots with Roddy White and Julio Jones on the field?
Yeah, because the thing about with Roddy, like I said, Roddy's role, he wouldn't necessarily have to be on the field a lot, but like you said, just to have that presence in the locker room in itself.
That second half wouldn't have went the way it would have went. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Roddy probably would have got in a fight with Shanahan before the second half started. Would have came out like, "Look, nigga, we about to win the game. Fuck all that." Shanahan, because come on now. Somehow they'd have found out he would have had another job. So what? No, this nigga left the playbook. Okay, you know what? We're gonna win this game, man. Just throw that shit. I get it.
Yeah.
They just say Roddy would have told Shanahan to fuck off, and everybody would have started playing the game. Roddy would have been running the team.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, B Lane made a point here saying Matt Ryan had limited audible rights. That's because the way that they call the plays, you ain't got time to damn.
Yep.
Bruh.
You ain't had time to audible.
But the
If
thing
you
is,
cause
though,
like I say, if you notice, even in San Francisco, they don't audible a lot.
Mm-mm.
no. And that's one of the reasons why Matt was pissed, because Matt saw the bullshit in front of him. This is the thing. You got a veteran quarterback that knows what's in front of him knows he needs to audible or change some shit up, and you tell him don't.
No, but the thing about it is if you because they always said when you're a play caller, okay, so when the play clock starts, it starts around 40 seconds. You literally have about 20 seconds to put the play in for the quarterback to listen to. You got about 15 to 20 seconds on that in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So from 40 to 15, so you get about
It's about 30 seconds.
25 seconds to get to the line, make a, let's say if you see an adjustment or something, boom. By the time they was getting the plays, it was like 15 seconds left on the damn play clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a lot of time to make a damn adjustment because it's
Well,
going to take you at least 3 seconds to make an adjustment.
Right.
well, that's a second part to that also. Certain formations only dictate that you're only going to have a certain amount of plays. For example, when you in the shotgun, Kyle Shanahan used to always have Matt Ryan in the shotgun. If you look at him, he never has his quarterback under. I mean, it's either under the center or he has him in the shotgun. Why? It's because the shotgun, you know, it's only a certain amount of plays you can run out of that formation, which is pretty
Mhm.
much a draw or, you know, something flat out of the backfield. Those are the two plays.
Mhm.
So linebackers know where you're going to be. So as a quarterback, you ain't got but a handful of plays, audibles that you can call, which is pretty much hot routes.
Right.
So Kyle Shanahan knows exactly what he's doing. If you look at his formations, he always has his quarterback when they need to pass, always in the shotgun. He never uses any other formations like that. So that's another aspect of play calling. If you look at a lot of quarterback offensive coordinators, they
Mhm.
never switch their formations because they can dictate the types of plays that come out based on the formations that they run.
So if you want, if you want a first chance here, what a play calls like, I suggest y'all listen to what a lot of these play calls sound like.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's what makes Shanahan predictable in the big games is because they know he's gonna go back to that old stuff, and they know when he's behind the eight ball, he gonna run it.
Hmm.
That makes you. This is the reason why we're saying pay very close attention to what Zach Robinson is gonna do this season, because when you have a different type of quarterback that you can work with, and you got weapons that he doesn't mind getting the ball to, now you can become unpredictable. That's what wins games. That's what wins games because the NFL always has two things that they do for rookie quarterbacks. They try to test them with blitzes, try to overwhelm the offense so they can get to him to get the quarterback off his square, and then they try to see if you're predictable in your play calling. So they can
Right.
basically nail down, figure out what you're gonna do from moment to moment. If you're
Kyle
unpredictable,
Shanahan,
go ahead, Mike.
Kyle, Kyle
Oh,
Shanahan is
okay.
running the same plays that Daddy Shanahan was running in 97 and 98. The
Out.
exact same. Kyle is running the same thing in San Francisco that Mike was running in Denver in 97 and 98.
Just saying, y'all.
And that's why he loses.
It said even Matt LaFleur said the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here's the deal. It makes no sense to get new types of players, or it makes no sense to get new players if you're gonna keep running the same old shit. Because defensive coordinators like, oh, we know. Basically, defensive coordinators, the great ones, know when they got you. Oh, we got Shanahan on the ropes now. Why he running the ball? He done ran out of his 4 or 5 tricks and running the ball. Okay.
Yeah, is that notoriously bad at adjusting when things aren't working? Yeah, because he's sticking to a script and he doesn't know how to adjust off that script.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a great he has a great push, but he doesn't know how to counter.
Mm-hmm.
You punch his ass back, he don't know how to counter.
Yeah.
Nope.
And this is why, this is why we harped so much on when we talked about Kirk Cousins. We was like, you got to understand, this is why Mike said, hey, y'all be careful. Mike Penix has yet to get his man. And he said this in the offseason. This is why we say that. Because Zach Robinson in them last 3 games understood, I have a quarterback I can really open this playbook up on.
Mm-hmm.
I can get this ball. I can have a 509 game every game with this quarterback if I choose to, because he's gonna throw it to. If we set it up for him to throw to everybody on the staff, he gonna do it.
Oh,
And
Lord, they talk about.
I've said this many times about Matt Ryan. When Matt was his most dangerous when he spread the ball out.
Oh, talk about Zach Robinson did an interview with PFF.
Oh shit. Oh gosh, Matt Robinson gonna come out of
Oh
Zach,
Lord.
Zach gonna come out of there with a -22.
Lord.
Right.
Lord.
Right. As I said, West Coast offense has over 1,500 plays in it. Yeah. If you
I
don't,
mean, that's not necessarily true. It's just certain versions. It's the same play, but different versions off of it. It's the
Yeah.
same play.
but
There's a
but
lot
but
of options. There's a lot of options in
It's
those
just different
plays.
options, and some people just go overboard with all them different versions of the same play. That's really all it is. It's different versions of the same play. So it's the same play. Like NFL plays aren't that difficult. What happens is some players, some coaches like Kyle Shanahan like to run different versions, and they either flip it and turn it the other way. It's the same plays, but it's 15 different variations of like 50 plays. How I think. So it's 50 plays, but it's like it equals up to 1,500 plays.
yeah, but you know what? It, it it looks good if you can get past the first 5 or 6 and don't put
Man,
yourself in
ain't
a
nobody got time for no fucking 1,500 plays. I'm telling you, as a quarterback, I ain't got time for that shit. Nigga, run. I see you slant through it. I ain't got time for all that other bullshit you trying to do.
Say the game plan. The game plan has 60 specific plays that we
Yeah.
that it, that we got to goddamn study. They say, okay, you got to 1,500 plays in a week. Nigga, no.
Look. We want you to crouch down by the red tide, throw it over the head. All right, next play, we want you to run around the front bumper,
Look,
pass it back, throw it
look.
over the head, and then do a spin.
Let me ask everybody a question. Do y'all watch those videos where they actually have quarterbacks calling out the plays that they be having in the huddle?
I know I do.
I mean,
Of course,
it's
Mike, we
fun.
know you do.
It's fun. It's fun because hey, look, if you good, do it.
How about you, Sam?
I watch all of it.
Have we ever been watching the game and saw the quarterback call the exact same plays from the huddle from the coach?
No. What I'm saying is, have you ever seen these videos where the quarterbacks will call out a play and see the cadences in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They
Now
haven't.
the reason why I asked that question is, how the hell you gonna learn 1,500 plays and you got all that shit to goddamn call
Nigga, I
out?
got a whole 2 months in training camp, the off season. Man, get the fuck out my face. I ain't got time for no fucking 1,500 plays.
Look. I ain't
Throw
gonna
that
lie
shit
to
up
you.
your ass.
Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to love watching them videos where they had Brady be up talking some old lady. I should be laughing my ass off like, yeah, you ain't got time for all that shit. He tap his leg 2 times, call old lady, and then they go. He ain't worried about nothing else. All you need to know is
In most cases, from week to week, you know what I'm saying. And depending on the team you play, you have a set amount of plays that you know that are going to work against said team that you're facing.
there you go. There you go.
Exactly.
Like okay, let's speak about a couple months ahead. We know playing Tampa, damn it, we already know Todd Bowles gonna have that damn zero blitz ready to go. So you're gonna have to get that ball out in 0.5 seconds. And somebody gonna have to be open. So what's gonna have to happen is you're gonna have a certain amount of plays to make sure you men get open, especially we doing the pass game coming out the gate. Then as the game goes on, you'll see us implement the run. I mean, it's that simple.
I mean, yeah, because there's not too much tape that you can use, you know what I'm saying, from the Kirk Cousins games, because you got a totally different quarterback that's coming at you this time.
Right.
No, hold on. Let me get you something. Let me give you something right here. Think about this. If this is the new NFL, let's say they say red right 30 pull trap kill, green right slot Z over spider 2 wide banana.
There's one playing a bunch of garbage.
You got to remember that shit coming through the headset, so you got to make sure your headset is good. And you better remember all that shit. If you say the wrong thing, that's why motherfucker be running around. What Keyshawn Black said, huh? Let me say it again. Red right 30 pull trap, kill, green right slot Z over spider Y2 banana.
I just heard
On
barbecue.
two, on two.
No, I just heard barbecue and do you want a grilled cheese sandwich?
I heard the first sentence didn't mean that because the word kill came behind it when then the actual play came behind the kill.
I
There you
mean,
go, Mike.
that's obviously a pat. Like if you're saying pull, what is a pull? Does anybody know what the pull means?
Pull, that's the offensive line assignment,
That's
blocking
the offensive
assignment.
line. What is red right?
Red right. Red right will probably be a run play going to the outside, to the right.
Mm-hmm. So red right pull. All right, you said right. You said
Yeah. Red
why?
right 30 pull trap.
Banana.
So what it is that you got the pull guy is gonna be the trap guy.
Yes. So you just
So
got to
it's a
break
trap play.
everything down. You have to break every word down. The red right obviously is the pull trap. Then you got the Y and you got the red. So basically, it's a lot of the red right. The red right. A lot of times that's really just you're with the
That's
red
a
right.
cadence. That's
That's
just a cadence. That's a cadence
yeah.
based on the coach and stuff like that.
Right. Right. So all you just really just got to read the wide receivers, and the offensive line. So all you really doing is just calling the offensive line and what they're doing first. So it's a bunch of it's really a bunch of bullshit. You just gotta learn that listen to what you listen to.
And hold on. And this is the second part when I said kill
Mhm.
means if the defense you don't like, you have the option to
You
kill to
have
the
the
next play.
exactly. Yep.
So when it said green right slot Z over spider Y2 banana,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds like a bunch of dig
Over
routes
two
to me.
banana. Over two. Over two. All you got to do is really just break every word down. All of
Mhm.
it together sound like a bunch of bullshit, but every word.
Well, Mike. If you'd have told me left grill, right grill, rib,
That's why I broke.
potato salad, Kool-Aid, I would have understood that.
And
But yeah, but see,
yeah, yeah.
That's why I said what.
So
That's why I said it the way I said it because I knew. That's why I knew y'all to know what the hell they talking about.
but like I said, with the play go down, like I said, each position group listens for their cue.
Yeah, right.
So every player doesn't necessarily they have to know the play, but they have to know their assignments first.
Their assignment. So that's all the quarterback doing is really reading off everybody's assignment.
You know what? You know what? You know what? D Coleman, just go to sleep.
Leo, shut the hell up. He thought
It's
I thought Superman said ran wrong.
But no, look, D Coleman talk about turquoise wheat Gucci Mane Tango Delta.
I know.
Nah, like you said, so like actually I think it was Phillip Rivers that used Gucci Mane as an audible before.
Mm-hmm. No, they definitely use a lot of.
Brady. Brady used old lady. All right, you heard him. Old lady, old lady. I'm like, bro, would you stop saying that shit? Peyton Manning
That's
said
all it
that
is. That's all you really use. This different terminology
Omaha,
word for that.
Yeah,
Omaha, Omaha, Gucci.
Said old lady. Like I said, just let me know. Just call me grill left, grill right. You know what I'm saying? Rib Kool-Aid. I'm good. I know what to do. I know exactly what to do.
Look,
Now
Ric
y'all
Flair, Ric Flair,
understand.
Ric
Now
Flair.
y'all understand what it is to be a quarterback. You gotta listen to all that shit.
And the thing about it is you gotta know all. Look, like I said, what's up?
Quarterback, spare tire.
And like you said, and that's kind of one of the reasons why the quarterback position gets paid so much is because you literally have to know everything that everybody does.
Right.
But that's why you got that retard in Baltimore that only had about 4 plays and they run like 10 variations off that them 4 plays.
My
This is the reason why I hate, and I'm not just saying him. It's the same motherfucker in Philadelphia. He retarded too. All right, they don't run a whole offense off of him. Jalen Hurts is a retard too. He batted through for 3,000 yards himself. Okay, so I'm not saying he's the only one. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have not learned the art of the quarterback position because they are here running 5 plays.
Hold on. You don't mind if I read another one, Mike? Do you?
Go ahead.
Okay, we got ace, left fake, 394, dragon strike, kill, double right, gun far, 6, 7, 8, F choice.
that made my chest hurt. That made my chest hurt. And see, Mike. Now you can't be. You know good and well. Brillo Pad got his thing. Cornrow. The Tootsie Pop. Left, right, up. That's what he know.
But that's why they had the quarterback like R-band thing. So you have to reference to boom, 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 boom. Do y'all want me to read that play again?
He said that sounds like
No, because you starting to sound like Herschel Walker, little brother.
Leo said that sounds like the
They don't know what the hell you talking about.
They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Look. It says it right here. Ace left, fake, 394, dragon smoke, kill, double right, gun, 4, 6, 7, 8, F choice.
See, you know what? That's a Mortal Kombat combination. You over there thinking, yeah, that's how you do Liu Kang's fatality.
I'm just saying. Now y'all know what it's like to be a quarterback and why they ran the RPO. The reason why they run the RPO because we got a bunch of dumb Negroes. Okay, that's all it is.
See, that's why when we play football street, we just say, "Bubba, you run the slant that way."
Right. You go to the left, you go to the right. Y'all meet in the middle. I throw the ball.
Oh my God, y'all gonna like it. Tell me if y'all love hearing this shit because this shit is funny.
You know what, Mike? You know what? We gonna mess around one day. Y'all gonna come on the show. We gonna be talking quarterback talk. You ain't gonna know what the hell we talking about.
Okay, we got another one here. Blue right F short 2 motion 989 switch.
The numbers are basically the number in the holes. That's why you got positions like the 9, the wide
those
9.
Are 2 go routes.
So the numbers,
those
all
are 2
the
go
numbers
routes.
are just the holes. That's really the number that goes on the every position, every part of the football field has a number. So that's basically what you looking at when you see these numbers. Double right.
See, Leo ain't worth shit, bro. Theo ain't
Oh,
no shit.
they look. Y'all gonna learn something. Y'all gonna learn. I know y'all don't learn something now. Yeah, y'all gonna go back and look at these plays and be like, damn. Yeah, we
Okay.
learned this shit. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
here's
that's when
one
you
more.
get good.
And this is probably a staple in our playbook. Pistol trips right, 36 power read X bubble.
Yeah, they about to pass the ball on that one. I just say, yeah, they about to pass. All I know is they're gonna pass the ball. I don't know who gonna get
That's a screen. That's a screen pass.
it. See, I was half right.
Look. When you that's why motherfuckers play defense, nigga. They just say cover 3 over. Go. Right.
Wait. Left ass right. What the heck? Hey, where are they going to the? Wait, they going to the strip club now? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Get out.
Man. You know what? You go to hell, yo.
Left ass right there. Oh man.
Okay, we got another pro style formation. So, strong left, U slot 72, bob flat X up.
As long as they ain't got nothing to do with mayonnaise, I'm happy.
Kev, you about to get these folks a heart attack. All right.
They gonna be going
I
home
mean,
talking to their family like this. You know, it's Memorial Day. Somebody gonna get drunk coming there trying to call play calls.
Yeah,
this is
right.
an NFL cheat code brought to you by
See, no, look, hold up. Look at this. See, it's outside. You
left
ain't.
ass, right ass, left ass, right ass, shake, 12, shake, 8, go, hut.
See that? All right, now when the cheerleader do a split and slide down the pole on the sideline, it's your fault.
All right. Man, we got anything else to go before we get up on out of here? Before I read another
And,
play.
and your audible call is testicle.
All right, we gotta go, y'all. We got to go. I'm about to get ready for wrestling. All right, we're
He
not
said
gonna talk
they
about
came
testicles.
hollering out. They
Next
came
time we're
hollering,
gonna talk.
scrollums.
Next time you know, we're gonna be talking about boy and booty hole.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, Mike. Don't go there.
Ground right, F slot 2, jet, flanker drive. On 3. Let's go. We getting up on out of here. All right, man. Before I read another
Vagina.
play,
Tell your folks. Tell your people that's where
Oh,
you get the
baby.
football knowledge from, y'all. Tell your folks that's what you're gonna get. Right. You're not gonna get this nowhere else. I promise you.
Hey.
Right.
all this stuff they can read themselves.
No,
Look, here you
They not. All I'm saying, they not gonna tell
That's too
y'all.
fundamental. That's too
That
They not.
fundamental.
right. That's too
No.
much work.
They not
That's
gonna
too
get
much
this
work.
nowhere else. They ain't gonna get this shit nowhere else, and they know it. So that's why y'all need to be careful.
See, smart though. You.
Kev, you know good and well you can't read the book with emotions. I'm gonna leave
Mm-mm.
it at
We
that.
got to go, bro. We got to go.
Okay.
I'm not. We
hey,
got to go.
hold on. Here you go. All right, guys. Let's go ahead. Hold on.
No,
We're gonna
Kevin.
run
No, Kevin. We're not
flex
doing that.
left stack 324 F angle. Kill. Rip 60 Texas on 2. Ready? We out of here. So until
Did you
next time,
did,
people.
did you say glazed ankles on two?
No, no.
Rectum.
I said on 2.
Oh,
On the second
okay.
height.
Okay,
On the
I'm just
second height.
We're not talking about no
So, so,
rectums and ankles. Nope.
so that was
Not
two rectums and a scrotum.
All
Let's
right,
go.
man, Mike, we getting up out of
We
here,
gone. We
man.
gone, y'all. Sam is not allowed back on this show.
All right, y'all, man. Till next time, man. We here to play.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
We here to stay.
I just want to go. Y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go look at them damn videos and you'll see exactly what the fuck we talking about.
do your homework.
What the fuck? That ain't fucking
Y'all go to
funny.
hell, all of y'all.
Hell.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.